Hey team, so first thing I want you to do is I want you to like the video and subscribe to it. I'm going to give you some great tips and just general knowledge that I've learned so far, and that would be a huge help to the channel. So we're going to go into today's video, which is how I got my first 10 clients. This is more of a story. We're going to go back to January, which is about January 2025, when I watch this in the future. It is now June, so this is very fresh in my mind. And if you didn't know, I have a sales coach. His name is Justin Shoemaker. Awesome dude with the L8 Army. He's great. And I've been with him for 7 months. And so he helped me build the company and start building it up and, learn stuff about pressure washing, all this kind of buy my LLC, all this other crap that I never knew. I didn't know how to do that. I didn't even know what an LLC was. Maybe you don't, but we can get into that another time. So out in January, I had my t-shirts, I had my equipment. I was like, okay, I'm going to start in May 10th, because that's like a week after school. I wanted a little bit of a break and then to run right into services. So how do you get clients when you don't have a brand and no one knows who you are? It is important because people don't teach you this. I was definitely not going to do what I did. Because Justin and I were on a Zoom meeting, and he goes, this is what you're going to do, Vaughn. You're going to go to, and at the time, you can do this in Facebook groups. You could go door knock. Door knocking is going to be really easy. I can promise you're going to do this in under an hour. He's like, you're going to offer your first 20 jobs for free. You heard me right. For free. Looking back on this, because at the time, I had no money. So I was like, oh yeah, that's totally fine. I'm totally fine working for free. Because I had no money to build this up. Looking back on it, I probably did over $4,500 worth of jobs for free to build this. And again, totally worth it, because as a consumer, if I'm looking to buy my service, what am I going to do? I'm going to go to Google. I'm going to look at pressure washing near me, window cleaning near me. Look it up. Okay, 3 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars. 5 stars with 80 reviews? Go through them, they're detailed. Wow, that's impressive. I'm going to call this guy. And they've gained that trust without even talking to them yet. They could be the worst company on the planet. If they had that trust going into it, it's an easy sell. That's huge. So I was like, how do I do that? And Justin gave me the blueprint. He's like, do your first 20 jobs for free. Now, I never told him this, but I was like, 20 is insane. And so I put an ad out on Front Porch Forum, where I live in Vermont, this is a forum where over half of the adult population is on this forum. It's amazing. And it's a bunch of events, announcements for the state, and you can post ads on it, where I do now. But at the time, this was just a general announcement, not technically an ad. So what I did, I was like, hey, Burlington community, my name is Vaughn Larkin. I am a UVM student. I'm looking to start a window cleaning company. I'm going to do my first 10 jobs for free. And in exchange, so I do get something in return, I want you to write me, if I do a good job, I want you to write me a great, detailed 5-star review. And I was also like, I'm also going to tell you how much the job would have cost if I did it for X amount. Can you tell me? I'm going to want advice on where you think the price is compared to the value. Now, I sent that email out within literally a day. I had, I think I ended up doing actually 11 free jobs. I did one extra because one extra person reached out. And that was my first week and a half of May was booked with free jobs. Because at the time I was working by myself. I had only squeegee. I didn't have a brush yet, or a water filter system, so it took me a long time to do a house, especially since I put the ad out to do smaller homes, and no one with a small home reached out to me. It was only people with these massive houses, and when I say massive houses, I was hoping for people with 2-story houses. I had to do a couple 3-story houses, and it made me very angry, but we got them done. So what did I get out of this? And why is a free job so important? Going back to the brand, no one knows who you are. You have to build that. Especially for me, as a business owner, my goal is to grow and scale the company as fast as possible. I do not want to be stuck slowly building and be like, I refuse to work for free. I'm going to do my first job for 10% less than what a commercial person charges, because since I'm new, I'll charge less. That's great, and you're right. The problem is that you're still 10% less than someone who is well known. You should be 50% less, 40% less, hell, 80% less. You should be a lot less. People do not know who you are. They don't have any proof that you are good at your job, especially if you are being authentic and you're like, this is my first job ever. I walked up to my lady and I told her it was my first job ever, and she was like, awesome, cool, that's great. And I went through, I was like, look, I might do a terrible job, but, because at the time I didn't know what to say. I was just being honest. I was terrified. I showed up to a lady's house to work on her home. That scared the crap out of me. So I was like, I'm gonna do my best, yeah. And she was like, okay, cool. And so, house took me 6 hours. It's a normal, small 2-story house, 6 or 7 hours, and I had a ladder at that point. It's actually that's a funny story because it's the only time I've actually fallen off a ladder, because at the time I didn't have an extension. I had an A-frame, so I couldn't get up that high, and I stood on the top of the ladder, and this is still when there was snow on the ground, and I was on top of it, literally standing at the very top of the A-frame like an idiot, brushing this window, and I was like, holy crap, this is unsafe. Because as I looked down, I freaked out, lost my balance, thing flipped, I flipped, my foot got tangled in the ladder, and I somehow didn't break anything, and I landed in a snowbank. Yeah, first job. And that's when I remember being like, holy crap, I'm gonna kill myself if I keep doing this. And we kept doing it later. I haven't fallen off a ladder since. So, it's a whole other story. But for the 10 clients, the reason you do them for free is because you're building that brand, you're building trust, and the best part is you're building referrals. Justin told me you're gonna get referrals out of this, and I was like, I don't even know what a referral is. Like, what are you talking about? Why is this good? When people, just word of mouth. You do a job for free? Oh, I'm gonna tell my neighbors about you. You did a great job. That's a paid customer. A paid customer. You have proof now. You have word of mouth now. And if you did a good job, you get a review, which is what I did. At the time, I'm still not even verified on Google. Don't get me started about that, because that's a whole headache for me right now. But the reviews just went on Front Porch Forum. So I have these lists. I had 10 people who said, Vaughn is amazing. Vaughn is really good at his job. Vaughn came and did my whole exterior windows, didn't leave any trace that he was there, made everything look great. I had 10 to 11 of these reviews and no clients. So this is where the consistency comes in. Is I posted on Front Porch Forum once every single week from January to May, because I had these free jobs lined up, which I haven't hit yet. Because I had that, the very first one, like I said, this was the free one. Leading into this month that I had booked up, I switched to paid jobs. So I was like, hey guys, this is Vaughn. I'm doing a 10% off deal for the summer if you book it early. And so now, after this first week and a half, I had another week of people ready for me that were actually paid jobs. Some of them were just quotes, but some of them were actual jobs. And I remember the first one was May 13th. I had a lot of free jobs also overlapping the paid one, so I would have a paid one and a free one, just kind of how it fell. And I remember when I first paid one, that's a whole other story, but because I had those free jobs lined up, I was like, okay, cool, I have something to fall back on to do work. And then I just put it out there. I was like, hey guys, I'm new. I'm going to do 10% off for the summer. Does anyone want to hire me? And I got like a week's worth. In 2 months of ads, I got like a week's worth of clients, so it was like 7 to 10 people for me. So, after I did that first week and a half of free clients, you will not believe the amount of phone calls I got for referrals. I still get them today from other clients that I do, but people, especially in Vermont, people just know people. You just get phone calls. Like 30% of my clients now are referrals. That's insane. That's a lot of people. And by doing this for free, you are basically saying, I'm okay struggling now because I know in the future this is going to give me a huge head start over everyone else who is like, I'm going to charge X amount. So my tip for everyone, do it for free. People love free. You love free. I love free. I don't even click on ads on anything unless it says it's free. If you're selling a product, do it for 80% off. Lose some money to get it in people's hands. That would be my advice. If I did my whole business over again, I would do this again. And I would probably do up to 20 because the amount of referrals I got from just one client. Because remember, it's not just one client. You get another from that person. That person knows a whole bunch of other people. From one free client, you can get 10 to 20 other jobs if you do it right. Especially since you have the review on there. And so this is what I did for the first month. And that got me for my first 10 clients. And so it was really easy because everyone likes free stuff. And in return, I got reviews and I got feedback on my price. So when that time I had those paid customers, I had my price dialed down. Because I'd be like, I would charge $400 for this. Is that fine? And he'd be like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I don't know, maybe a little bit less. I don't know. I get stuff like that and I narrow it. I'm like, okay, so the ballpark for Vermont is $10 for a first story window, $15 for second story and up. Maybe $7 for the front windows, stuff like that. And now I have my pricing down. This has made me so much money. Doing stuff for free made me money. Don't be afraid to do it, okay? Thank you and have a lovely day.